For 23 years, Martin Grayson had been the steady heartbeat of the school bus that wound its way through the neighborhoods of Milwaukee. Each morning, he would pull up to the curb, the familiar, faded yellow paint of the bus gleaming dully in the early light. The children would pile on, their laughter and chatter filling the air, while he remained a silent sentinel at the front, his salt and pepper hair a testament to the years spent in this role. To the kids, he was simply Mr. Grayson, a quiet man with a kind smile, who drove them to school and back home, a constant presence in their young lives. But behind that calm exterior lay a tumultuous sea of regret and pain, a history that had shaped him into the man he had become. Years ago, Martin had made a choice that rippled through his life like a stone thrown into water. He had been young and scared when Caroline had told him she was pregnant. They had been in love, or so he had thought. But fear had clouded his judgment. Instead of embracing the future they could have shared, he had turned away, leaving her to navigate the storm of impending motherhood alone. The weight of that decision had haunted him ever since, a shadow that lingered in the corners of his mind, whispering reminders of what could have been. In 2018, everything changed. Martin had been driving his usual route when the tightness in his chest became unbearable. He had dismissed it as stress, the exhaustion of a long day, but it was a heart attack that sent him crashing to the ground, the world around him fading to black. The days that followed were a blur of hospital rooms and sterile smells, punctuated by the stark reality of his situation, and his heart was failing and he needed a transplant. The thought terrified him, but the surgeons were hopeful. There was a donor, a man named James Brennan, whose heart would soon beat within him. After the surgery, as Martin lay in his hospital bed recovering, he felt a strange sensation coursing through him. It was as if he were waking from a deep sleep. The world suddenly vivid and alive. Colors seemed brighter, sounds sharper. Music, which had always been a background hum in his life, now filled the empty spaces within him. He found himself captivated by Vivaldi's Four Seasons, the notes weaving through his consciousness like a tapestry of emotion. Each piece resonated with him, stirring feelings he had long buried. He began to hum along, the melodies unlocking something within him that had been dormant for years. As his strength returned, Martin discovered another unexpected passion: photography. It began with a simple camera gifted to him by a nurse who recognized the spark of creativity in his eyes. He started capturing images of the world outside his hospital window, the changing seasons, the play of light and shadow. Each click of the shutter felt like a release, a way to express the tumult of emotion he had kept hidden for so long. He found beauty in the mundane, the extraordinary in the everyday, and through the lens, he began to see life anew. In the months that followed, Martin decided to write a letter to James's family, expressing his gratitude for the gift of life and sharing his transformative journey. He poured his heart into the words, detailing how the heart of a man he had never met had breathed new life into him, igniting passions he never knew he possessed. He spoke of his love for music and photography, how they had become lifelines during his recovery. He hoped that in some small way they might find comfort in knowing that their loved one had made a profound impact on his life. Weeks later, he received a response. Eliza, James's daughter, wrote back, her words warm and heartfelt. She was touched by Martin's letter and expressed her desire to meet him. There was something about her writing that struck a chord within him, and he felt an inexplicable pull to connect with her. They arranged to meet at a local cafe, a place where the aroma of coffee mingled with the laughter of patrons, an atmosphere that felt charged with possibility. When Martin first laid eyes on Eliza, he was struck by how much she resembled her father. The same bright eyes, the same infectious smile. But as they spoke, he felt a weight settle over him, a heaviness that came from the realization that he was not just meeting James's daughter, he was also meeting the daughter he had abandoned all those years ago. The guilt surged within him, a tidal wave threatening to pull him under. He had spent decades living with the consequences of his choices, and now, standing in front of Eliza, he was confronted with the reality of his past. They talked for hours, sharing stories and laughter, but Martin could not shake the feeling of unease. He wanted to tell her everything, to explain the choices he had made and the pain he had caused. But the words caught in his throat, tangled in a web of regret. Instead, he listened as she spoke about her father, the man who had nurtured her love for the arts, who had encouraged her to chase her dreams. It was clear that James had been a remarkable man, and Martin felt a deep sense of responsibility to honor his legacy. As weeks turned into months, Martin and Eliza began to build a relationship, slowly peeling back the layers of their intertwined pasts. They explored the city together, visiting art galleries and attending concerts, each outing a step toward healing. Eliza introduced Martin to her world, a vibrant tapestry of creativity and passion. She was a photographer in her own right, capturing the beauty of life through her lens. And Martin found himself inspired by her talent and determination. Yet, the specter of their shared history loomed over them. Martin struggled with the knowledge that he had walked away from Caroline, from the family he could have had. He had spent years trying to make peace with his choices, but every time he looked into Eliza's eyes, he was reminded of the love he had abandoned. He wanted to be a father to her, to make amends for the years lost, but the fear of rejection held him back. He worried that she would see him not as a mentor or a friend, but as the man who had let her down before she was even born. One evening, as they sat on a park bench overlooking the lake, the sun setting in a blaze of orange and pink, Martin felt a surge of courage stirring. He turned to Eliza, his heart racing, and spoke the words that had been trapped inside him for so long. "I need to tell you something," he began, his voice stutter trembling. "I'm not just your father's recipient. I'm your father." The revelation hung in the air, heavy and charged. Eliza's expression shifted, her eyes wide with shock and confusion. "What do you mean?" she asked, her voice barely a whisper. "I abandoned your mother when she was pregnant with you," he confessed, the weight of his admission pressing down on him. "I made a choice that I regret every day of my life. I thought I was doing the right thing, but I was just scared. I've spent years trying to come to terms with it, and now, with everything that's happened, I want to be here for you. I want to make things right." Eliza's silence was deafening, her gaze fixed on the horizon. Martin felt the air between them shift, the tension palpable. He had laid bare his soul, and now he could only wait for her response. Finally, she turned to him, her expression a mix of hurt and understanding. "I don't know what to say," she admitted. "It's a lot to process. I've always felt a void in my life, an absence that I couldn't explain. I thought it was just about losing my dad, but now..." Her voice trailed off, and Martin could see the conflict in her eyes. "I understand "If you're angry," he said softly, "you have every right to be. I can't change the past, but I want to be part of your life moving forward. I want to honor your father's memory and the gift he gave me. I want to be the father you deserved." As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a golden glow over the park, Eliza took a deep breath. "It's going to take time," she said finally, "but I think I'm willing to try. It's just complicated." Complicated was an understatement. Over the next few months, they navigated the choppy waters of their new relationship, learning to trust each other while grappling with the shadows of the past. Martin found solace in his photography, capturing moments that spoke to the beauty of second chances. With each click of the shutter, he felt a sense of purpose, a way to honor both James's legacy and the family he had lost. Their bond deepened as they shared stories, laughter, and even tears. They attended art shows together where Martin's photography began to gain recognition. Inspired by James's love for the arts, he created a series of photographs that captured the essence of life in Milwaukee, each image infused with the emotions he had once kept hidden. The series culminated in a gallery exhibition, where he established a scholarship in James's name for young artists, a way to give back and support the next generation. As the years passed, Martin and Eliza continued to grow closer, their relationship blossoming into a beautiful friendship. They shared dreams and aspiration, supporting each other through the challenges of life. Martin found joy in being a father figure to Eliza, guiding her in her photography and encouraging her to pursue her passions. In return, she helped him heal, reminding him that it was never too late to seek redemption. Through their journey, Martin learned that forgiveness was not a destination, but a process, a gradual unfolding of understanding and acceptance. He had been given a second chance at life, not just through the heart that now beat within him, but through the connection he had forged with Eliza. Together, they honored the memory of James Brennan, a man who had unknowingly brought them together, and in doing so, they created a new family, one built on love, forgiveness, and the understanding that life is a tapestry of choices, both good and bad. In the quiet moments, as Martin gazed through his camera lens, he felt a profound sense of gratitude. He had once been a man defined by regret, but now he was a man transformed, a man who had learned to embrace the beauty of second chances. The road ahead was still uncertain, but for the first time in a long while, he felt hopeful. The heart that beat within him was not just a reminder of the past, it was a symbol of new beginnings, of the unexpected joys that life could bring. And as he captured the world around him, he knew that he was finally living the life he had always wanted, one filled with love, connection, and the promise of tomorrow.